Happy Memorial Day. Hope you guys are enjoying your day off today. I know this is time of graduations and proms and family and barbecue and reflection and remembering and things like that. So we hope that you're having a good time, and some of you are gonna. This is a day off, and so you're enjoying your day off. Some of you, this is the beginning of summer vacation. But however you choose to celebrate or chill on this day, be safe and enjoy. I know you're going to do it. I just want to talk a little bit about inner leadership. You know, whenever, and this really doesn't have anything to do with religion per se or being motivated. Something happens when you experience a shift in your life. And it usually happens based on the emotional need that you may have had or the emotional deficiencies that you may have had coming up. You just don't become a man or a woman and get a vision vision usually happens, especially in those of us who may have had a certain deficiency. We may have lacked something. We may have lacked courage or confidence. We may have lacked love. We may have felt insecure. Vision really comes and it really shifts the insecure. It's a treasure for the insecure or those who may have felt bouts of depression or insignificance. And when you grow up, when you're in family, we treat one another very common. If you're sensitive in the area, the family can take advantage of that sensitivity. If you're fat, if you're overweight, look with your fat self. And they could build on your mind. If you're too skinny, they say you slab of ribs, you're bony with your skinny self. When you're in family, there is no holds barred. And if you didn't have any hair, with your bald head self, family bar can cut up. And when you're in school, and especially elementary school, oh my Lord, it's open season. It's open season when you're in elementary school with your fat self, with your fat A, with your stupid A. When you're in school with your bald head self, you could be smart, but if you had a flaw, oh my Lord, Jesus. And so our perception was developed really, really young. And you begin to picture perfection from the wrong sense of perspective. You look at those who they don't talk about and you say, okay, that's perfect. You look at the kid who never gets the dozen shot against them. You say, well, that's perfect. Everyone who was easy pickings wasn't perfect. And those who people wanted to be with was perfect. So you begin to form an opinion. You begin to look at everyone who attracted all the friends, where they had the latest clothes, they had the latest shoes, their hair was constantly cut. They didn't have to wear the same clothes over. You looked at how many times you wore your blouse or your skirt, or hey Don, or how many times you wore the same pair of pants to school. You got a pair of Levi's. It's 5 days. You're gonna wear those same pants 3 days. You got to change the shirt, but you're gonna wear those jeans 2 to 3 days. And you begin to look at them, and they said they didn't lack anything. And you begin to look at that and you form an opinion, because it's something about family, boy. You just open pickings. You could just say, oh boy. And so we get accustomed to it. You get accustomed to not have brilliance. And then there's some families, you see the really smart children, and you look at their fathers and their mothers. Hey, and you begin to look at their mother and father. Yeah, affects your life from childhood to adulthood. That's right. Inner child stuff is deep. That's right. And they have a car. They have a brick home. Your house may be rotten on or something. You got visitors in your house. You look at their house. It has a smell of, oh, it's clean in here. It looks like it's clean. You look, everything looks pristine. But when you see those serious families, it looks like the father looks stern and the mother looks a little stern, like you can't crack a joke or something like that. And it's like, wow. But you come to your house, it's like, plates in the room. You know what I'm talking about. I mean, when it's family, it's like that. So you grow up with this certain sense of thought. And I think vision, like I said, I believe it's a treasure for the inner child or for the insecure, the confidence. Gideon, God saw him as a mighty man of valor, but Gideon saw himself as insecure. He said, I'm a runt. I have issues with myself. And there comes a time for those of us, and I say us, because I suffered from that coming up, of not really knowing where to go, not really sure about myself, following those who seemingly knew where they were going, and you walk with those who know where they're going, and you want to be on their team. Because they know where they're going, and if I'm with them, I'm going to get some sort of feeling of accomplishment because they've accepted me as a friend or an accomplice. And sometimes it could work for good or bad. If you see the popular guy doing something wrong, well, I'm going to do something wrong. I'm going to cuss. I remember, and I know it's Memorial Day. That won't be on long. I remember I had this. I was really, when I was younger, when I was a little boy, we were babysat by this lady named Miss Taylor. And I remember this young man named Levy Pickens. And I was like, where are the rest of the children? And so the children were all standing with Levy on the side of the house by this tree. And it looked like an old Nat Turner thing. It looked like a bunch of slaves listening to the escape guy saying, I know the way to freedom. It had that look. We were all kids, and you had all these children listening to this young man by a tree, and he was just cussing like a grown man. He was just, we're like, what? This young man is cussing? And boy, he was just teaching everybody how to cuss, and I'm standing there. And he's standing by this tree just cussing like God said, I'll bless you if you cuss. He was cussing like, he was saying things. I was like, and I felt the joy. I'm like, you mean we can say these things? This guy was cussing. We might have been 6 or 7 years old, 8. He is cussing like God said, I will lay both my hands on you if you cuss. And I mean, he was going, and we was just in awe, like, wow, never have we saw a child cuss such as this. My Lord. And I'm like, wow. And I went home and tried it. I went home, and hey, blessings to you. I went home, and I remember trying it with my sister, and bless her heart, she's passed away. And I was in a room with my sister, and all of a sudden, I just started cussing. And my sister was like, Undrai. I mean, I was just going. And man, my sister went and told my father and said, Dad, Undrai's in there cussing. And see, my father was like, come here, Undrai. And see, my father wants you to tell him. He said, "What did you say?" He wants you to say it. I'm like, I can't. He wanted me to. My father was like, "Undrai, what did you say?" And I'm like that too. I'm not going to say it, Turner. But man, I put a myriad of words together, man, that would have just, oh my Lord. I had to try it out on someone I felt was weaker. I couldn't cuss to people who were significant. I had to cuss with those who were weaker, like my sister. I had to cuss with those who I felt didn't have any accountability. So I just let everything loose. And my father's like, "Tell me what you said." I'm like, "Oh Lord, he want to tell me." It's like, just whip me already, you know. That was a cool memory. But I said that because when you're a child and there is deficiencies, usually vision will be treated much deeper and with much passion by those who felt they had nothing in their heart. Vision is not for smart people. It's not, inner leadership is not just for some smart person who we consider smart. It's for those of us who lacked something. And so when we lack a lot because of our inner child or inner weakness, there is a passion that we get from a belief in ourselves that can look really intimidating and really stern and really harsh. And I want to tell you that those of you who believe deeply, you're not harsh, but your personality will be perceived as harsh and arrogant and inconsiderate. See, because our beliefs give us a sense of stability and worth and significance and meaning and belonging. And see, when you have a vision or purpose, sometimes the vision and the purpose has to sort and separate us from the weeds of our inner deficiency so it won't be so personal. Because a person who believes in themselves could come across as though everyone is against them, and as though everyone wants to hurt them, as though everyone wants to stop them. And I'm gonna have to say those of us who believe deeply, we have a way of fighting back. How you doing? Good afternoon. And coming back, because beliefs change the pain that made you a person that was walked on. And now that you believe, and not cutting loose is an important, that's right. Now that you believe, and now that it's bringing order to your life, there is a power that comes to keep the insignificant of those who are just going to treat you like common family. Because when you're in family, sometimes family could just treat you conveniently. You don't have to have a vision to be loved. You don't have to have a focus to eat dinner. No one's going to say until you have a dream. You could eat dinner broke. You could eat dinner making F's. You could flunk and have to repeat the third grade. You can repeat school, but you're going to have dinner. So you're accepted. But when you believe in yourself, there is a convenient acceptance that you no longer desire because it makes living easy. And visionaries don't want to live easy. We want it smooth, or we want the power, but I don't want to be conveniently embraced to the point that it don't attract and pull out brilliance from my mind or my attitude or my creativity. And whenever you feel that the convenience is going to make you forget the brilliance, something in you rises up because you no longer